Plus many other obscure sets. Vectrex. I have several Fairchild Channel F, Odyssey 2, Atari 7800, 5200, Lynx, all complete. US, nothing all the crazy stuff, but many others too. Many others that don't have complete, but all that would go with this. Okay, we're talking thousands of games. People ask how many. I have no idea. I haven't counted it.
You haven't counted them. Of course you bloody counted them. What a nonsense. You'll have counted them many times over because they're your babies.
It's not my thing, right? I'm not a volume collector. I'm not a, hey.
Not a volume collector with all that volume of shit behind you.
Look how big my collection is, and you know, it's really to be comprehensive as best as I can on a budget.
What budget?
To have that someplace to say this is what's out there.
This is just absolute bollocks. It really is. And he's not making any money off it, he claims. You know, if I was his wife, I'd be saying, sell it all, because you can fund the kids' college fund with all that. If you don't want it in the house, if you don't want to be looking at it all the time, you don't want to physically own it, you would keep it or you'd sell it, so you get the money from it. And then we can buy a bigger house. We can live abroad. We can say send the kids to college, do whatever. You wouldn't just give up all that money. He's making a packet out of this, I guarantee that.
You know, this is the education. It's really important to tell a story. Video Game History Foundation does a great job of telling the story and really fleshing that out.
The only thing he'll be flushing is down the toilet.
Board of directors dedicated to pursue long-term plan of future physical establishment. Yeah, anything you want to add to that? Sorry.
Just, I would say, one of the things about this guy, if you don't know him, is when he says, you know, he picks a goal and then does it, I don't think a lot of people realize just how, like, once he decides to do one thing, good luck. You can throw a mountain in his way and he will beat his head against it. And
the bollocks. They're trying to make it sound like he's unswerving in what he does, but he's been taking 25 years to get to this point where he's not done very much yet.
Until there's a cave going through the mountain to come out the other side. It doesn't matter what you were trying to do on that trip. If something comes into that goal, your road trip, you know, he's pulling over, stopping, talking to people. It's almost become a running joke, you know, in a lot of ways, because he knows 50 million people, because he's literally been talking about this exact same thing for 25 years.
People,
people who doubt, you know, and some of the silly online drama stuff.
Oh, people who doubt him. God, who would doubt him with that lovely beard?
You know, anybody who doubts him, anybody who knows him, I just roll my eyes, because like he's going to beat his head against it until it happens in some form or another.
Bullshit.
And now, you know, with a group, he's got a whole group behind him.
Yeah.
And you're all making money off it.
So
it's not a me thing.
I'm very confident we're going to get somewhere. Now, what that ultimately looks like, you know, in a post-COVID world with all the challenges we're facing, you know, we don't know. We have to be flexible and open-minded.
Sorry, but everywhere is open again now. You can sit cheek by jowl in the cinema. There's no escaping that anymore. So you will get there. You get, I mean, we never know if we'll have another, you know, whatever again, but whether it'll all come back. But at least, yeah, if trends continue as they are now, then everything will just continue with normal as before. So there's literally nothing stopping him, apart from the truth.
But in some form, this is going to happen some way.
Yeah. Think about how weird this is. We live in the Northwest. We have Nintendo in our backyard, Microsoft. But there's not a console museum in the Northwest.
Yeah, probably because no one needs one.
How weird is that?
It's not weird at all.
If that bothers you. Yeah. There's amazing other...
Because we can't see the audience, but we just have to assume that lots of people are bothered.
There are museums elsewhere. We need one.
Why? Who needs to see all this shit in a museum? Excuse me. A load of nonsense.
We need one in driving distance that represents the Northwest, that represents the culture of gaming. Because I think when I come to the Northwest, I'm like, man, there's some serious gamers here. And they all have different stories to tell. And I feel that. When I moved to Washington, I'm from California, I'm sorry. But when I moved to Washington in 2005, I feel that here. And I want to celebrate that.
I feel that here. I want to celebrate it. So again, he's just gaslighting the audience.
I want to do something about it. People ask me, well, how can you balance teaching family life and doing 3 videos of YouTube? Because I want to. Because
It does not take him long to make a YouTube video.
I set in my mind, I said, I'm going to do this.
It's set his mind, but he hasn't done anything.
And I want to do it. And when I want to do it, I end up doing it.
Ah,
And so I know there's a difference between criticism and harassment. And trust me, I've dealt with both. And there's some criticism, okay, I see that. You don't know the whole story.
no, we don't know the whole story. Well, tell us the whole story, John.
And then there's harassment, and definitely whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
And sometimes criticism is welcome. You
Yeah,
know, it gives you-
yeah, absolutely. You know, I haven't done
Criticism is welcome. That's why he shadow bans you from his channel.
everything right. I'm human. I'm a human being, and I've made a lot of mistakes. But I'm here to say this is real. This is moving forward.
Yeah.
So, those are great pictures of me. Steve Wright, I think, did this picture. It's my NES collection, real quick, and that was at PRG. Who saw my NES collection? All right. What about Sega Genesis? Yeah.
What year was your NES?
Okay, I'm gonna get it wrong. 2017, 18, 17. The last one was the last show was Genesis.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So it was the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really pops.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you, folks. See, that's why they're here. 'Cause So a little funny story about this. I thought it'd be smart to organize, and it looks pretty that way, okay? Who likes aesthetically pleasing collections? Okay?
Again, gaslighting the audience. This is all aesthetically pleasing. You all want to see this.
A couple things. It really pains me to have my games in the garage this long. I never wanted that.
Bollocks.
I never wanted to have it in boxes. It pains me. I don't like it. And that's good, though, because it motivated me to do something about it. Why don't you do a game room tour? Why don't you show that? I don't want a game room. That doesn't matter. Look what I have. No, I want to show you what's out there, and I want to educate people, and I want to share it. Okay, I'm that type of guy. Real funny story about this. So I thought it'd be cute and look better to organize it by game company. Until you want to find a game on a wall that's like from here to the door, and it didn't work for me.
Surely he could just alphabetize the games on his wall, even if they're by company. Excuse me, and then make a list of all your games. Then it's easy to find one.
Anyways, I had to do it alphabetical. It looks ugly, but anyways, that's a pretty
Yeah, alphabetical. Okay.
version of doing it. So, anyways, all right, yeah. Okay, so we are very aware of what we need. We are looking to seek partnerships with companies and/or businesses interested that can offer space for a physical, permanent public display. We're on deck with talking to a business.
So after 25 years, he's talking to people. He's still seeking partnerships. So he's not done anything yet. Anyway, he's still talking to people. He's still trying to get things arranged because nobody's interested. It's probably 99% on the launchpad, ready to go. He wouldn't say he's not talking to Nintendo.
We are flexible in location and area in the Northwest. This doesn't have to be me. This is not me anymore.
Of course it is.
I don't care about that. I want to be the curator. In fact, I think to be completely honest, it's going to work better if a business hosts it for their thing initially, so it can be viable. Being viable and being in a physical location means everything. That's important, okay? And I think I see that probably being a win-win, and I've had a lot of healthy input about that. The decision is the board. It's not my decision about what we do with this. Even though it's technically my collection, I don't look at it like that anymore. It's a decision of a team of very intelligent people and people that know me very well moving forward. So, continued funding, long-term partnerships important. I don't want it to dissolve in 3 months. That would be devastating.
Yeah, he might have to take all this stuff back and put it back in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, all that work, and then Yeah, I don't want that. That's important and that's tough. Okay, I know the funding is going to be a thing. One thing I can offer on my channel is that if a business did take it on, I could advertise for them. I could promote them. You know, I'm kind of a marketing muscle.
Who gives a shit about John Hancock? He's not even getting the right amount of views on his videos.
That YouTube is really to get the word out about what I have, and then turn that into an avenue of marketing for the museum. And so consultation with anybody who has experience setting up on physical museums. Robert Schmuck of Living Computer Museum has reached out. He wanted to talk to me, and some other people to give me suggestions.
So he hasn't got any, he's just got nothing sorted out. This is a massive joke.
And the board. We're open to that.
In fact, it's like an investor pitch rather than actually saying we've got it all sorted.
We've already had a conversation formally. Yeah, several people have reached out like, hey, we can help you along the way.
It
Yeah.
seems like right as we're announcing it, there's all of a sudden
Yeah.
lots of people wanting to talk to us about it. So that's
Yeah.
good. It's a very good sign.
We want to work with all the other game museums. Sometimes it's really important that museums work together. That's a passionate thing for me, working with the Video Game History Foundation, working with other game museums. How can we work together? We can't be the end-all, be-all. Nobody can. And if you're saying that, then you're not being honest with yourself. I'm not going to be everything of this museum. It's going to be, hopefully, an amazing museum. It's going to be a story and an avenue. It's not going to capture everything.
How can it be a story? What's there to really be a story about? It's just all your random shit shoved in one place. If you want a story, I'd have the museum that collection, etc. that The Last Gamer had, which he got the Guinness World Record before he then ended up. He got a lightning strike and it just knocked out everything, almost everything. And then he said, "I don't believe in insurance." I'm like, oh, you dick! Didn't insure anything. My God. Had millions of pounds worth of games and machines. He didn't insure anything, and then it was all worth nothing. And then he just gave up and decided to just move house somewhere else.
Okay, I can't collect everything. I think it's near impossible to have everything in one spot. It's going to be a story and a flavor. But hopefully, it represents a lot of things.
You can taste the flavor of John Hancock. Ugh.
And the experience.
Yeah, I'm sad for someone who's looking for something and doesn't see it. But we all have limitations, and there's going to be limitations on what I can show, but at least initially, doing my best, folks.
And also, one of the things we've really talked a lot about at our board meetings is, how to make this, we don't want this to be a static museum where you walk in and there's just rows of games and, oh, cool, studio events, cool, let's go get a hamburger. It'll really depend on what funding we get, what the physical location is.
Yeah, here we go. Give us money.
Who's involved, but we have discussed quite extensively a lot of ideas for keeping things interesting and interactive, for involving the community with the site and having it being more than just a collection of
What, just have machines you can play the games on?
games. It's a rotating set of experiences that you can come and participate in, not just go and look at cool stuff that you wished you had found at a garage sale.
So are you going to list any of these cool experiences we can see?
Absolutely.
No.
Anything to add?
They've got no ideas at all. It's just a fucking big scam.
Flexibility and being fluid. History changes, perspectives change. Having the same thing shown over and over again, it has to be mobile and fluid and telling different stories and different things at different times. That's important because gamers, as they age, are going to have a different flavor and they're going to remember different things. It doesn't mean we forget things. It's just that we'll have to present it in different ways as time moves forward.
What does that mean? How do you present it in a different way? No, you just shove it in a case and let people look at it.
Very important to me.
Ah.
All right. Yep. All right. So we are very aware of the challenges ahead. We are an inexperienced board setting up physical public museums. We're gamers, we're collectors, we're professionals. We've some experience with nonprofit. We have a money guy. We have a mayor. I think it's important. But these things take time. So the people that complain like it's taken a long time never have done what I'm doing, you know, in the Northwest.
Certainly not during COVID either.
Yeah, and you talk to the Game History Foundation, the NVM, any other main large physical museum, and they say, oh yeah, it took years to do. And guess what? They also dealt with doubters and people that said that I wasn't going to happen. And I get it. Because people don't know, if they don't hear or know something, they're going to fill in the blanks of what something is.
Well, you've been very quiet all along, and you're just giving very vague answers to any questions in this. Well, you're not done a Q&A yet, but you just everything's just so vague with this. You're not answering anything.
Assumptions are a killer in our society, you know, and I get, I know people talk and stuff, but I'm here just to say, hopefully, that you're hearing me now and getting the word out of this is what it is. So if people have questions about the museum, send them a link. So this is where we're at. You know, this is the truth, and this is exactly where we're at.
Koyuk.
Well, we're working on a website, but the website's just rudimentary right now.
Oh, we're working on a website. Yeah, so difficult to set up a website, isn't it? Take you all of 5 minutes.
And so it really doesn't have a ton to it. I think once we establish a place, we would work possibly with that business and just do some cross promotion there. We do have a website we've been paid for a while, and we have someone working on it. That person, it's like anything,
Anyone can build a website. You don't need someone else working on it. You can do it all in your spare time.
We have meetings about this. Hey, what do you think of the website? Here's the content. Oh, let's change that. Let's do that. Is it ready to?
God, it's so complex, isn't it? There's a very rudimentary website, but they still have to have in-depth discussions about the nitty-gritty. Good God.
So yeah, probably not. But that's where we're at. Great thing. Securing a physical location means everything. Everybody's like, well, it's not real because it's not physical. Well, that's just wrong. That's just like, the black and white thinking of like, well, it takes a while to get a physical location. That's what we're working on, and we know that's a challenge. I am confident that we'll find a place.
Confident.
To work with. It's going to take a long time. This is a long-term project and something I've said many, many times. It is. But I'm happy to talk about it now because I have the information and the team to move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It might happen, finding the people, the place might happen quicker than we think, but no matter what, it will take a long time before doors open.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just kicking the can down the road even further.
But I'm happy to, send people there or say it's a thing. I want to thank everybody who's been supportive or been followed me for many years. Or even if you're a doubter, hopefully this educates people on exactly where I'm at and where I'm going. And to fill in the blanks of information that they didn't have. And we're here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, end goals and purpose. All right, I'll try to give 10 minutes of Q&A for some people. It's important to educate and promote video game history to the public, to offer an opportunity for people to experience video game culture of yesteryear on original hardware as much as we can. Okay, some things overheat if you have them on for so long, but there's going to be some compromises. But for the most part, I love original hardware. I know these folks appreciate it. My booth at 335, I have original CRTs on original hardware showing homebrew games. Really important.
Very important.
To expand the knowledge, to educate people, to inform people, the understanding of video games experience from previous generations.
Kids today don't care about old games. They just think you're a boomer and call it a day.
If you don't know what you're looking at, I'm not doing my job. I want to educate you on what you're looking at, why it's important in a simple way that's not too wordy. It's a balance. It's a balance of
It's not exactly a museum full of bones from the Triassic period, is it?
And space is an issue, and all that's challenging. So I want to offer a balance of that. And that's where feedback and even critique at that time will be important. We hear that and adjust it accordingly. That's going to be a win-win. It's hard. A balance of showing a crazy game collection, but making it understandable and more than just static. I really like what John said. Rose, sorry. Call each other last names.
There's like 10 Johns were associated with
Yeah, John Riggs. Yeah. Yeah, so
John Riggs, another scammer.
that's important. That's really important. I know that physical, original hardware, that's very passionate of us.
Yeah, he keeps saying that. Move on. Actually, tell us why you have got sorted out.
Of us, but I know that's a big thing with Eric.
Yeah.
And his voice and the voice of the board is important moving forward. It's their voices incorporated in with what I want to do. And taking that education and collective thought and putting it into a goal moving forward is very important. We are wanting to set up physical location in the Northwest. That's a must. That's why it's called the Northwest Video Game Museum. Someone wanted to possibly take it out of the country. That was not on the table ever. And I was pretty clear about that. And that's fine. People doing game stuff around the world. I want to represent the Northwest. In the Northwest, and that's really important. Yeah, and we don't want to limit it to the centers around console, handheld, and classic gaming computer history, as my friend John Rose here has really educated me on some things that I wasn't versed on, as well as Eric, as well as my own flavor. But I try to, who's seen my channel with my obscure stuff, the Aquarius homebrew computer videos, I like to cover everything and represent everything. The challenge will be to get that into one spot, but those stories are important to tell too. If
They're important to you. No one else.
you're a fan of like some obscure console or handheld that didn't get a lot of attention, I can be that guy to give it some light.
Hoyok,
in what
hoyok.
I can. I'm not everything. It's, there's eclectic things I miss. I'm mostly a console and handheld guy. With some classic computer knowledge, thank you to the knowledge that has been shared by my friends and in my personal research. Commodore VIC-20, Atari 8-bit, really Amiga.
Yeah, I mean, they were all good back in the day, and I still remember playing on a friend's VIC-20 when I was at their house, and it was very early days. I think I only had the Atari 2600 at the time. I thought, wow, this is amazing. It can do lots of stuff. It can play games and do, programming and stuff. I want one. But, then 40 years on, sure, I've got the VIC-20, I've got the Commodore. Anyway, it does the VIC-20, all that stuff, the big Commodore 64 thing. And but kids today, they don't care. For us, it's still fun, but for them, they don't care.
TI-99 4A, Apple II, those classic computers, especially classic gaming computers, it's going to be focused on gaming though. So computers that weren't centered around gaming, like that's not what we want to do. We want to center it around gaming. Does it play games? Great. Even a calculator. I don't know if anybody here, TI-81, TI-85. Yeah, playing those games and stuff. I mean, that's important to tell that story, right?
Oh yeah, it's very important. Give me money so I can tell a story.
Oh yeah, it got me through several college classes. So, telling those stories, and like that, you were telling me like a handheld, there's these like computers that weren't made to play games so you can get games on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a story. Okay, down the rabbit hole. Right. Yeah, we're looking to offer a comprehensive look at what games and systems have been released over the last 40 years and look forward to network with other museums, like I said before. Very
Why would other museums network with you? My God.
important.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the things we also want to look to, again, trying to not have a very static exhibit, would be to, eventually, now that we're going public and kind of announcing what we're doing, eventually we'll probably be involving a lot of you to give feedback and ideas and things ways that we can do things. And then hopefully once we get the site actually established and off the ground, we'll have ways to involve you further and have it be something that's,
Yes.
kind of like PRGE or whatever, that you look forward to coming of these things going on there and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. And we're gonna wrap this up. We'll do a quick Q&A. We talked actually stretched it out pretty good.
We did.
All right, if you want to help, we're not looking for donations or things right now. Suggestions, or if you have a connection to a business that would be interested in hosting, we're really looking for a site to host, and we're fielding that interest now.
Oh, hasn't he found a site there? He's never mentioned it. He's still looking for a location. Never mentions it, does he? He's just...
Now. And so you can speak with me. I'm at booth 335 or the board members, and happy to just, let's have a talk. Let's have a serious talk. We are looking for a long-term place, though. We're looking something that's viable, because we're not talking, a box of games. So one thing to be very clear, this is a comprehensive collection. I could fill, this room right here, I could fill this, I could fill 6 of these. I could fill one of them,
Yeah.
depending on the space, but,
If stuff were displayed,
yeah,
easily.
yeah.
Easily.
Really important that it's properly displayed. The reason why it's been a challenge, one of the other challenges too, the display that my N64 collection is in, that's $6,000. Okay, and so that is a challenge. Okay,
That's money he could use to fund his kid's college education. And he just wants to give it away? Not make any money out of it? Fuck off.
on a teacher's salary, that's tough.
Exactly, you got no money, so, well, apart from what you spent on this. So, this doesn't wash at all.
I got a lot of my games, and I've collected them a long time. If I was to start now, I wouldn't have what I have, which is important because, I think.
Yeah, because all the prices have rocketed from people like you and MJR saying, God, get these games.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of things, but if you started now, it'd be near impossible to accomplish unless you had deep, deep pockets. Because even finding a lot of stuff I have, it's not even on eBay. It's hasn't been on eBay for a long time. So that's it. We're gonna do a quick Q&A, and we only got 7 minutes. We want to respect the.
Oh, Indie Pops. In fact, just thinking about it, the guy on the right looks like he's finally spotted me doing a reaction to this, and he says, Dom, I'm gonna kill you.
Time. When that time's done, we are done. So we'll field a couple questions. Yes, right there.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say, I hereby commit, I will pay hundreds of dollars for the right to be, one of the first visitors to the museum.
Oh my God, no, what a simp who's been gaslit to fuck. I pay hundreds of dollars to be one of the first visitors to the museum. Fuck off. Museums are supposed to be free anyway. It's like you have suggested donations and things. Just, oh, sorry, just absolute. What have I done there? Oh, here we go. Just the guy's an absolute moron.
Get like that expert
Hang on, go back a bit.
for the right to be, one of the first visitors to the museum and get like that expert tour. I know I'm not the only one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Expert tours.
Yeah.
You want the John Hancock tour?
No, he wanted an expert tour.
I just want someone who knows the ins and outs of every freaking obscure console.
He wants the ins and outs of every obscure console. We'll go to Lady Decade and Top Hat Gaming Scam.
Well, sit back, relax. You may want to grab some popcorn. So
It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
But, the interest is there. My question for you,
Yeah.
in Iceland, there's a museum of sorcery that is way in the middle of nowhere in the most remote, cold part of the island.
do you have to teleport there?
I know. It's hard to get to, and yet it's been open all these years.
Yeah.
So my question to you, have you considered looking into a really shitty remote part of the North?
Oh, you mean my hometown? No, sorry. No, honestly speaking, yes. Yes, we have. There's plan A, B, and C. It's kind of that Goldilocks thing where, come on up, I got a button for you. Hey, come on up. Great question. Yes, we've looked at that and we're flexible to that. We're flexible about where it is in the Northwest. We really want it to just be successful. And that really comes down to, we'll start somewhere. What's the best place we can start?
Is this... I don't know, wherever you go now in the UK, there are no one using masks anymore because it's no longer mandated. Is it mandated where he is? I mean, it can't be because him and the guy on the left, the right, whatever, is they're not wearing one. So the audience have to wear them?
Because I think it's better than just a start, because I got a crazy amount of games I could share
And sell at swap meets that you've taken from little girls?
and would be forming Voltron. Let me tell you, if I can get a space to have my collection on display, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, and from a practical standpoint, we've kind of talked over all of the different possible things, that being one of them. And we're just kind of, where we kind of landed on is like, well, we might as well shoot for the stars and see where we end up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're going to try that first, and if that doesn't work, then we'll start looking at other more unconventional approaches.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll try any scam you can grift.
So yes, that's a great question, and thank you for your time. All right, who else? Yes, saw you first. Blue shirt, yes.
Yeah, doing a little bit of snooping. I noticed that your NICS code is a philanthropic museum variety of 501c. A lot of these grants to apply for those take anywhere between 6 months to a year. But you mentioned you're specifically not looking for donations at this time.
Yeah.
What is it that's keeping you from wanting to raise funds already?
I think it's difficult to hear the question, but something about grants can take 6 to 12 months to get going. So, what's stopping you from wanting to raise funds?
Well, because I think part of it is if we can connect to an established business and be a backdrop
Then you can just leech off them,
to a functional business, I don't feel
as opposed to your dysfunctional one.
right about taking donations or money for a location until.
Well, you've been taking donations of games for years and selling them at swap meets.
So a lot of my donations too, just to rewind, were for PRGE collections on display. A lot of my NES and Saturn stuff, and so that was focused to like complete some very key sets that were going to be on display for that. But really, it depends on location and seeing if they need revenue, and then open it up. Then I would feel better if I had a location and saying it's here, and then if you want to donate, here you go. I think the board agreed with that.
And I think another piece of it is, you know, we're the board to support this, but we're also basically, you know, we have full lives and jobs and all that other kind of stuff. You know, I'm not physically going to be running this anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, we're trying to find someone who, as a business, who wants to support this that we're partnering with, because we frankly don't have the time and energy and health or whatever.
Yeah.
What could you add to that? We don't have the time, the energy, or the health. Yeah, because you're old men who just, I'm old. Yeah, but just old men who, oh, come on, you've got plenty of time to spare to deal with this. Just go, if you're too out of energy, too fat, go for a walk. I've been going for lots of long walks this past year, the past 6 months even. I've lost a lot of weight. Get out of the house away from your games and go for a long walk.
You necessarily run this ourselves.
I think,
It's more a partnership.
I think offering a collection of my mammoth size to a business to help them draw in people, and if they want to charge a mission or fund their business, I think I can offer quite a bit with that. And I think once that was established, then we could look at, adding to their business or something. I would feel better about that. That's just the approach, Yeah, come on up, question. Yeah, come on up. You want a button?
I'll get after it.
All right, thank you. That's a good question. And there's things we haven't thought about, but that's kind of the approach that we're looking at.
We have talked about grants a couple of times.
We have.
Government grants and stuff like that, and it's, I think, finalized, like we have in there, finalizing the business plan, doing this, announcing it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to start looking
A, B,
more
C,
and
D,
more at that.
E. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Short version is it depends on how some current stuff goes.
Yeah, we have some things in talks that would be a reason why. All right, thanks. Tons. You want to pick? Sure.
Hand up in the back.
So if you're not taking donations and if we're not a big sponsor, how can we help?
So if you're not taking donations, you haven't got a sponsor, how can we help? I'll have to repeat the questions because they're not easily heard.
I think right now the next step really is, we've got a couple minutes left. I think right now just a positive support. I definitely don't want to take that for the nonprofit.
Yeah, he just wants to get any negativity out of the way so the scam and grift can continue.
There's kind of a budget limitation for the first couple of years of a nonprofit. I'm really not in a place to really like have a lot in the account. I'd feel better if we had a physical location. I think it would be the better approach of saying once we have a location and we know how much space we're dealing with and how much we can display, because that business may need just to attend, like maybe to attend that business. or maybe to support it by going there or telling other people about it. That's why that would be helpful the best.
We'll have more to share
Yeah.
in the coming months. I would say just in general,
Yeah.
though, for now, if you do want to be involved, if you are interested, we have you want to pull that contact info back up?
Yep, email me.
Shoot an email. Anything that comes through, we generally discuss at our meetings anyway. And, you never know when a contact might pan out. You never know when somebody might have a good idea,
Yep.
or you might have a good idea.
Yeah.
Things that you're interested, just, ideas, and what do you want to see from a museum? What would bring you back, Is it going to bring you in once to check it out and then leave? What would make you come back? What would those types of questions. And we'll probably, once we get the website up, be
What would make me go to John Hancock's museum the once? Nothing.
sending out surveys and stuff. But
Yeah.
if you have observations or ideas or you have connections, send those to us. We can't guarantee that they'll go anywhere, but I guarantee you they will be considered for sure.
Send them to the link of when I upload this to my channel.
Yep.
So if someone's doubting or saying something, well, actually, here's this panel on it. This is where we're really at.
Oh yeah, just this video full of gaslighting people.
Back, green.
Will people be able to play the games?
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal. Play and see. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Bake cookies?
And then I can answer questions out there walking to my booth at 3:35. Happy to do a quick picture. We have time for a quick picture. Is that good? All right, so we can go ahead and end recording. And thank you so much for coming to this. We're going to do just a panel picture. I do kind of I want to thank everybody for coming, and then I'm happy to talk more at my booth. I want to honor the time. Am I good? 11 seconds? All right.
Oh, what a grifter. Ridiculous. And bloody, Bimart Dice. Did he go out? He looks like Larry David. Good old Over 42. I was listening to Star Child the other day. What's that one? The Boxer. Yeah. Came to the Boxer because lie, because the Amico. Anyways, what a joke that video was. Might try and comment on the other guy's video to see if that stays there. Anyway, how do I end these videos now? Please like this video. Yeah, say any thoughts you have. Please post in the comments below. In the meantime, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis.